I'm in charge of a company that runs 6 ramen shops in Kyiv. And when the invasion started, we went to work and schedule. I told all my employees to go to work, told everyone to come down and not panic. And we opened all our restaurants on schedule. And on average day, we serve for lunch sometimes between 500 to 1,000 people. And on that day, we served 16 guests in all 6 of our restaurants. So we decided to shut down for all our operation and to get in one of our basement restaurants that's built in a bomb shelter. And from there, we started feeding military and civilians.
And since then, how have you been able to operate?
When Kyiv was under attack, we were working with the army and different special forces. And after Kyiv was liberated, we launched all of our restaurants again. I hired more staff. The business is still working, and I'm directing it remotely, while also working as a cook in Zaporizhzhia. And now our charity organization is actually about to start building a full prep kitchen that will supply more soldiers.
What's it like cooking in a war zone? What are the challenges you're having to face?
Well, you're living under a constant threat of being attacked. In Kyiv, you have the luxury of having the air alert siren before the actual explosions, before the missiles appear. In the war zone, you don't have that luxury. At first, you hear the explosions, and then maybe a minute later, the air alert sirens. So that's one of the biggest challenges: is to know to know ahead of time whether you're gonna get hit or not.
So have you been affected by the electricity and water supplies being cut across the country?
In Zaporizhzhia, no. In Kyiv, my restaurants are affected. The sales have dropped because we're only able to work so much. But in Zaporizhzhia, we haven't experienced any shortages of water or electricity.
Where do you get your supplies from? Are there any shortages in terms of ingredients?
Absolutely not. There's a shortage of donations because we purchase all our supplies. The military spends pretty much its entire budget on weapons, so the food went to probably third row. So we work only on donations that we gather from Twitter, I guess, at this point. And farmers donate food to us. Many local farmers give their food because they can't sell it. And because they want to help the military, and local retailers also donate food.
And what has been the response from those who you feed?
Well, they love it. if the cook knows what he's doing, the people are happy. So.
In terms of morale, what does it do for troops who are working and fighting every day and having to come back to a nutritious meal? Can you see the difference that it makes?
That makes a difference, but more importantly, people usually forget that a good meal or a special meal is something that is absolutely a must for any celebration. And here, during this past 10 months, we've celebrated everything from promotions to children being born to marriages, weddings, and stuff like that. And you have to fight the war, but when you come back from fighting, you still need to celebrate, and food plays like a key role in any celebration.
That sense of normality as well. Tell us a bit more about the type of food that you provide, and you're also trying to improve the food on the front line for troops there.
Yeah, so there's I do several operations. So we feed the guys who are at the military base, right? So there's a small unit that lives with us, and we feed them. Then we prepare food, already cooked food, to supply to the front lines, to all the units that are stretched across the 40-kilometer thick front line. So the front line isn't like it's a really thick, constantly moving organism, and there's different units in it. So we provide food for that. And I'm also working with the brigade cooks in the army to renew the equipment that they're using, because they use old USSR wood burn stoves, I would say, and it's the situation is pretty bad for those guys.
So how do you organise your volunteers? And I understand you're getting a lot of them.
We've recently started getting more volunteers. We're actually working on making a program for international volunteers so they can come to Ukraine for a period of at least 3 months or longer, and help us cook food for the soldiers. We're just about to receive them, but mostly we've been working with the Ukrainian volunteers. At some point, I had over 100 volunteers who were making food. At that point, we were cooking in Kyiv, and we were serving 5,000 meals every day. So for 1,500 soldiers, roughly, give or take, 3 times a day.
And finally, Chef Zhenya, what are your hopes to continue helping in this way?
Well, I am. I launched a charity organization. That's our mission is to transform nutrition in Ukraine. Ukraine had a pretty dire situation before, and we have like one of the lowest life expectancies in the world, and that needs to be changed. So I'm probably going to keep doing what I'm doing and try and improve nutrition on a national scale if I can.
Well, we wish you all the best. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate what you're doing. Chef Zhenya, thank you so much for your time, and stay safe.
Thank you for telling our story to the world. Thank you. Have a good day.